According to the Inspector General of Police, Egbetokun, charges against Dele Farotimi, I want us to kind of take some moment. I've gone through the 12 count charges, or is it 13 count charges? I want us to examine some of those charges in this conversation. Let us examine these charges through the lens of truth, law, and equity. The first accusation of false communication and defamation under the Cybercrime Act. The Inspector General of Police contends that Mr. Dele Farotimi knowingly disseminated false information to cause unrest. Yet, where is the evidence of falsehood? He hasn't provided it. His book and statements are rooted in documented historical facts. Perhaps if the IGP has actually read it. I don't think he reads. Because there is a public perception and lived experiences of Nigeria within a flawed criminal justice system. If Dele Farotimi's assertions are to be deemed false, let the burden of proof rest on the accuser to demonstrate their inaccuracy with irrefutable evidence, not through broad claims or subjective interpretation that Mr. IGP Egbetokun is actually insinuating. Now, the second charge, which is the claim of harassment and intimidation, because all these charges I had to break them down. The second one, which is the claim of harassment and intimidation. This allegation hinges on the notion that his critique of Are Afe Babalola, I don't know why they even call him that name, constitutes cyber harassment. But is it harassment to kind of hold public figures accountable for their actions and influence? Which there's something that proves it the other time, about yesterday, when they released a documentary. In a democracy, I think public servants and influential individuals must be open to scrutiny. To label a critic as harassment is to stifle dissent and shield power from accountability, which creating a dangerous precedent where speaking truth becomes a criminal act. That is appalling to the IGP. The third one, the broader implication of these charges. These charges kind of reflect an attempt to suppress dissent, discourage activism, and also silence voices that demand change. By targeting Mr. Dele Farotimi, the state sends a chilling message to all Nigerians, and that's what we need to get. To question authority is to risk persecution. This is kind of antithetical to the principles enshrined in our constitution, which guarantees freedom of expression and the right to hold leaders accountable. Now, let us kind of consider the law itself. The Cybercrime Act, while necessary to curb genuine cyber offenses, must not be weaponized against citizens exercising their constitutional rights. The vague language in section cited against Mr. Dele Farotimi, such as false communication, is open to abuse. It risks being a tool for silencing critics rather than protecting society from harm. So for me, I have a message for the Inspector General, and I will pose some questions to you. How does it serve the Nigerian people to persecute a man whose only crime is exposing systemic flaws? And you are acting like you are not aware of this. Should the state not direct its energy towards addressing the injustice he highlights rather than punishing him for his courage? Are we to become a nation where truth tellers are branded as criminals, while the real perpetrators, those who commit societal harm, walk freely? So I will say this case is more than a legal battle. It is a moral reckoning. And if Mr. Farotimi is silenced today, who is the person who will speak tomorrow? If we kind of allow the law to be weaponized against truth, what future do we leave for our children? So I think in my own way, I believe Inspector General of Police. If we say that you are incompetent, is that a defamation? Because based off all the things you wrote in the 12 count charges, it shows somebody is incompetent. And in a nutshell, I think you are.
When you are revolutionary and you talk the truth, people will come and slap you down. Then you talk the truth again, they'll lock you in jail. They never hear anything at all. Then go hear pansa pansa. When you are revolutionary and you talk the truth, people will come and slap you down. Then you talk the truth again, they'll lock you in jail. They never hear anything at all. Then go hear pansa pansa.